Hello everyone, welcome back to Ketchup Court TV. I go by the name of Heinz. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of the Ketchup Court podcast, where we recap on legal cases as well as have discussions with friends of the channel or other guests that choose to join us. Today we are going through the Ali versus Ali trial again. Sorry, not again. We've been covering this case since its inception or start. I would say since the trial started. So if you've missed our previous recaps, do go back to watch on from day 1 to day 4. It's a very interesting case, and it is about a woman. A young girl named Fatima that was trying to escape what was supposed to be a arranged marriage in the country of Iraq. She was due to fly out, and she didn't want to go. She had reservations about it, and she also had a boyfriend, which the parents did not approve of, and she just didn't want to go through with it. So when the father found out, he went on to choke her. So basically, that's why we're here, because all of this has been charged as attempted murder, as well as assault in the first degree and the fourth degree for the assault to the boyfriend. Attempted kidnapping as well was one of the charges. We went through this on day 1. So yeah, there is a lot in this case. But I do have to say, in regards to testimonies today, again, just like on day 4, there has not really been any fireworks to speak of. I believe only 4 witnesses testified today. This was the I couldn't even spell it. I couldn't even spell it when I was making my notes on the stream, but his name was Dr. Sung Won Kim. He is an otolaryngologist. Long name to respond, but he basically performs surgeries around the throat area, etc. And he was testifying today regarding the treatment of Fatima Ali when she was in his care. Then Patrol Officer Tori Chavez testified because she was on the scene interviewing several individuals that were on the scene, including Fatima Ali. Then Officer Shaun testified as well. He was also on the scene interviewing. And then Dr. Joyce Gilbert, she was a pediatrician. Her testimony was quite short, so we're not really going to go into her testimony a lot, but I am looking forward to it because I'm guessing her testimony is going to be pertaining to what happens when a child is strangled, or how different a 17-year-old's body is to a child, for example, trying to establish that this was not even an adult. So this type of strangulation that she was exposed to could have killed her basically. So I'm guessing that's what's gonna be a testimony. But all they went through was all they went through today was just her experience, qualifications, etc. And the judge called it a day. So let's go back. So let's go to recap on what the first witness that was up for the day, that goes by the name of Dr. Song Won Kim. He was the first one up, and and as I said, he had treated Fatima when he was at when she was at the hospital. He testified that there was no vascular injuries to Fatima when he was there. He also testifies that he was the one that gave the pneumonitis, that the Ihsan. I could never pneumomenia the that diagnosis. He was the one that basically gave it, because he noticed that air had went into the area of your lungs, that area that it wasn't supposed to be there, and he basically says why it's dangerous, and says that this could be dangerous for areas of the aorta. So his testimony was just to go through again why what she went through could have been likely lethal, and this is and the part that I wanna look at. One second, let me just before I go forward, I just want to say I just want to pose to the chat so that everyone can join in with me. Let me know how you're feeling in the chat, and let's interact about this stream. But let me just send this in here. But yeah, so now let me let me go to the part of the testimony that I think is key for the prosecution and why they had to get that testimony out. And it was the testimony pertaining to what can happen to what can cause a pneumomediastinum from strangulation. This is what he basically had to say. This is what he basically had to say in regards to that. Let me switch over.
Let's say, or men. So many.
In the left and strangulation caused Miss Ali had air in her left tracheal space. Can strangulation cause air to be present in the left tracheal space?
Yes. Well, so many things can cause pneumomediastinum. It can happen spontaneously. Generally happens more to like thin, tall men in their 20s and 30s. But it can happen even during childbirth if you're straining hard enough, let's say, or trauma,
Okay.
which I believe is what happened here.
Okay.
So that testimony in regards to trauma shows how much force, because for it to happen in terms of trauma, based on what he just explained, on how other people would get it, that trauma-induced mediastinum could have led to further complications if not treated. And I'm going by what we discussed on day 4 recap when the doctor came up. Even based on the doctor's testimony, the doctor's testimony for the defense, and also the doctor's testimony for the prosecution, they also said the same thing. If this was left untreated, it would have gone much worse. So what his testimony is speaking to is the fact that then the underlying cause was call for concern, because because if it wasn't dealt with, the pressure would have got too great, and she would have and she would have actually died from it. From what I understand, because the air was starting to come in to that area due to the fracture that he found. So he may not have found vascular injuries, like I said earlier, but he did find a cracking in where I believe he said where the trachea is. He testified earlier. So that's why this testimony is important, because it goes into the murder element, because that's the actual threshold. This person would have died if that was the case. So it's not an assault per se, because assault doesn't not all assaults would end up in death in death. So with attempted murder, based on what I understand from reading the statute, the person had a high likelihood of losing their life should independent of external circumstances. So that's what I understand it to be. I'm no lawyer. I have always said that in every stream. I'm no doctor either. This is just my personal thoughts.
If you put enough force that prevents air from escaping, then you can expel air from the windpipe or some other part of the airway into the mediastinum.
Okay. You indicated if you put enough force to prevent air from escaping, force on where?
So generally for strangulation injuries, is generally around the neck, preventing the airflow from coming out. That way it causes increased intrathoracic pressure, and sometimes that pressure goes out at the area of least resistance.
Okay. And the area of least resistance, where would that be?
So I don't know. I didn't look, but it's likely going to be the trachea, in between what's called the tracheal rings. Likely is what would happen.
Okay.
Okay, so when he says that he has also said that he's not a professional. I don't know what the exact term was, but he did say that he wasn't a professional, the person that handles the lung area and cardiovascular area or whatever. So he did say that, but he said he also went to medical school, so he knows what the terms mean and what to look for per se. But there was a part of his testimony that was really key, because he said that when he looked at the damage, he knew that if he was to act further, it would have caused more issues. So and his best course was to watch it and let it heal on its own. So when I heard that testimony, again, when I heard that, I personally thought that this was good for the prosecution, because if the doctor himself is deciding not to go ahead and perform further surgery to try and fix the issue that he diagnosed, if he has chosen to do that, that means that there was sufficient damage there that further work or for like based on his testimony, like further trauma, based on his testimony in regards to the trauma causing the mediastinum, if he had done anything further, it would have caused more issues. I thought that testimony was very good for the prosecution, because it shows the extent of the injuries if the father was not prevented from if the father was not moved away from the daughter. Like I said, not a lot of fireworks, very technical today. Like this stream is not gonna be for a very long time, so we're just gonna go through the main highlights for the day. So there was nothing really much coming out of the cross-examination. Both the lawyers were just arguing in regards to the long-term effects of the mediastinum. All of that is very reminiscent of what happened on day 4 with the surgeon that was on the stand, Dr. Kim. he also said that the media time did not get worse the next day when they had X-rayed it. It did not get worse, so it did heal over time, as he said. He also testified that Fatima was asymptomatic when he was looking over this mediastinum. So that means that she wasn't receiving further symptoms of mediastinum, of the effects of mediastinum, for example. So very technical, very, very, very technical. On redirect, the prosecution just returned to basically ask why he was recommending what he did, and and to basically rebut what came out on cross-examination about the severeness of the diagnosis. And then he testified that he recommended not to eat or drink anything until the following morning because he was worried about the exacerbation of the condition that he diagnosed her with. So that again shows the level of the trauma that she had that day. So this concern for the mediastinum was through trauma. So that's the main part I want to highlight with his testimony, because that trauma was only caused by the strangulation by the hands of Ihsan Ali. So that was the main takeaway from that testimony for the jury to consider. If they are to even consider this testimony, they might even consider this over the previous nurse testimony, medical examiner testimony on day 4, which was, I forgot her first name, but Rivas was her surname. Anyway, the next witness was Officer Tori Chavez, and she was a patrol officer at the Lacey Police Department. And she was, based on the testimony, before I continue reading, thank you so my mouse needs charging. But yeah, thank you so much everyone that are tuned in right now. Trial channel, I see you. I will react to your chats in a bit. Just putting my mouse in the charger. So yeah, I got it back. Sam R, can't say long. It's 1 a.m. here. That means you are in the UK. It's 1 a.m. too over here. So yeah, so so welcome to the stream, Sam. The stream is not gonna be long. It's probably 45 minutes max. I'll be honest, half an hour max. It's literally just zooming through all of these testimonies. I implore you to go watch day 1 and day 2 if you're watching back on replay, because that's where the meat really is. The eyewitness testimony, I believe, really gives a full view of what happened that day, and the testimony of Isaiah and Fatima really gives the background as to why there was a lot of motive for the father to carry out what he did. Even though motive is not really required for second degree attempted murder, even though motive is not really required, it's really important to at least establish that this guy was being like, there was nothing that was going to stop him from doing what he did because of a particular reason. It will be very helpful to have that testimony. And so, but as I've said from day 1, I've always said that she was supposed to get married in Iraq. That information hasn't come in, and it was denied from coming in. So the prosecution had a really tough job in really showing the home nature, the nature of the home. But yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for joining, Sam. Trial channel says otolaryngologist is a saying word. It really is. Yeah, so I didn't have a clue what it was until I heard someone say ear, nose, and throat specialist. Yeah, so but yeah, so no, I don't. It's not. I mean, it's not necessary. I do know what you mean, because you're not the only person that I've seen. I watch a lot of people covering this case to kind of understand what people are saying out there, and you're not the first person to really feel like this, because you say to be honest, I don't feel all medical testimony is so necessary. Uh, it's so necessary. Feel like videos scream volumes. Even I believe the video does scream volume, but in terms of, I believe that the reason why the prosecution is going really gun ho on proving, on showing this medical testimony, I really believe is because they want to show that there was a high likelihood that that she would have died from that event. So even though a lot of people came in to testify to say that her face turned blue, all of her face changed colors, her eyes was rolled back, all of those things, having the surgeon that treated you that wanted to know whether it could have got worse or anything like that, having him come in to testify and say, no, that was caused by trauma, and I didn't even want to prescribe her to go and eat anything, because if she ate, it would have made the whole thing worse. It gives you the idea that there was significant damage to that, even though not enough damage that is lasting. Any more damage could have actually caused the pressure in her, it could have caused a lot of pressure in her lungs that could have resulted in death. So that's why I think it's important about these testimonies. I do agree it might be a bit of an overkill, because I think you only needed to bring in this doctor to testify to that, because he's the one that actually done the diagnosis. I don't know what Miss Rivas was for on day 4. I know that she spoke with Fatima, and she diagnosed her with the petechiae and all that. But I still feel like if this was the only person that came in, the point would have been made. But so many doctors come in, a doctor to rebut and say that all of this is irrelevant because nothing lasting was going to happen. But I really believe that this doctor at least helps with the attempted murder, because I believe the language around murder is that there was a likelihood of death to occur, like from what I understand. Again, not a lawyer. I want to see what their closing argument is, because I'm really thinking that the closing argument is going to be around the fact that he would have caused her death had no one intervened. He would have died based on his aggression, based on the fact that she was dating this guy that they didn't approve of. So that's what I think. Anyway, Officer Tori Chavez is up. Her testimony that I thought was important. Only one of the testimony that I thought was important was when she testified that Zahraa Ali, the mother of Fatima Ali, she said that that Isaiah was a danger to. Let me see if I got. I don't think I got the right timestamp. Damn it. Hold on, let me try and find it. My bad. Okay, I went too far ahead.
Is it fair to say based on their own vantage point?
I would say so.
All right, so let me see. All right, so basically, Officer Chavez testified that when she interviewed Zahraa Ali, that she basically said that Isaiah was a danger to Fatima, and that's why they were doing what they were doing to try and separate the two. And I mean, it's not the best explanation, but that's what she told the police at the time to try and explain what was going on. Let me see if this is the right part.
When you, how long, if you know, how long would you estimate your contact was with Zahraa during the course of your time on scene?
I would say no less than 15 minutes
Collectively?
collective.
Okay. And during the course of that, did she provide you a statement? Meaning, did she come to give you a statement?
Sustained.
During the course of your time with her, did she voluntarily speak with you?
Yes.
Sustained.
During the course of the time that you interacted with her, did she attempt to give you details about the events? It's about Zahraa Ali.
I understand that. Members of the jury, it is
All right, wrong
10:28.
Wrong timestamp. Sorry.
And
Let me
so we-
go.
How would you describe that period of your interaction with Zahraa?
All right.
Immediately
this is
allowed
one.
to. Was there any
Okay,
request
this is the one.
from
Sorry. Yeah,
Zahraa
got
to
it here.
speak with her husband?
Yes.
Okay, was she immediately
The affirmative. To hear what was said, or they were slow to respond in the affirmative of not doing what I asked or doing what I asked.
Okay, and so during the course of the time, was there any request from Zahraa to speak with her husband?
Yes.
Okay, was she immediately allowed to do that?
No, she was not.
And what did that interaction look like? How would you describe that period of your interaction with Zahraa?
She became upset. She continually repeated that she just wanted to speak to her husband, and began kind of pacing around or trying to move past where myself and other officers were standing at the time.
And did other officers have to intervene to stop her from going to her husband?
Yes.
What was Haneen doing during this period of time without repeating anything that she was saying?
She was following Zahraa.
How would you describe her demeanor?
She was also upset. She was slightly more calm in her tone and pitch when she was speaking with me, but she was visibly also upset.
And when you say upset, what does that mean? Like, what do you mean by upset? I know that is a general term, but what does that look like?
Her voice would raise in pitch. She would kind of sob, speak rapidly, breathe rapidly, pace around.
Did they continue to try to get to Ihsan Ali despite officers' instructions?
Yes.
Did you eventually allow Zahraa to speak with Ihsan?
Yes.
And what about Haneen?
She as well.
And did you hear any of that conversation?
I heard the conversation, but I did not understand it.
All right. So this was when she spoke. When she wanted to speak with her daughter, but Zahraa had declined. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. I think it's here. Let me try here. Damn. I think it's
First
here.
approached the teenagers that had stated that they had seen what happened.
And again, without repeating anything anyone told you, when did you speak with Ms. Carter?
When I initially made contact at the bus stop.
Did she provide you a statement at that time?
She did not know.
Okay. Was there a bus coming at that point
No.
She stated that she needed to.
to take a later statement? At any point during your interaction or your time on scene, did you come in contact with anyone by the name? What about Haneen Ali? Was that before or after you made contact with Haneen Ali? How would you identify how they appeared in terms of what they were wearing?
Or over length on long.
That's not it.
It was
Based on your conversation, recall during the course of your conversation with Zahraa Ali, whether she made any statements about Isaiah specifically,
yes.
and what did she say about Isaiah as it related to her daughter?
She stated to me that Isaiah was changing her daughter's mind, and that he was a danger to her.
Isaiah was changing her daughter's mind, and he was in a danger to her. Again, we know from the previous testimonies that Isaiah was the boyfriend of Fatima for 9 months, and they were friends for like 2 years. And she was arranged. They couldn't bring that in court, but we know that she was arranged to be married in Iraq, and she was supposed to travel. She had a one-way ticket to travel to Iraq, so she didn't want to go. The parents were saying that this guy was poisoned. We already know that Isaiah's father had taken out a restraining order for against the family telling him to stay away from telling the family to stay away from the son, and the son will stay away from the family. So this testimony goes really in as to why both these parents would try to do what they did to in I don't know if they're gonna bring up honor-based abuse, but this does sound like honor-based abuse because they have disgraced their honor based on what they were going to do. They can't bring in the marriage, but we are looking at, in my opinion, we are looking at honor-based abuse. But I don't think the prosecution is going to make any concrete argument to that, though. I don't think they are. But the prosecution asked numerous questions on the the defense asked numerous questions on the cross-examination. Not really anything that is really important to get out of this witness. And she just basically said that Zahraa Ali followed the instructions that they gave her to stay away from the school. She on redirect exam, all the prosecution did was just ask, did Zahraa Ali ever ask in regards to Fatima Ali's condition? She said no, that all she was worried about was the husband, my husband, where that, what are you doing to my husband when he got arrested? So that testimony was wild. Like, out of all the concerns that you have, it is for your husband, not your daughter who has been taken to hospital based on all of this. Not your daughter, but your husband. Like that, hearing that testimony was wild. But just to also update, in court, the jury, two jury members were found to have been on social media, and they were only admonished. Basically, one of them had saw a photograph of Mr. and Mrs. Ali on Facebook, and that, and the judge just admonished them, and they continue serving. So both parties didn't really have any argument to this, but I just thought I relay that because it's what happened in court. This is the first time I've seen jurors actually get called out for being on social media. Like there's where the prosecution objects to that and brings it to their attention. So I don't know how they caught it. But yeah. And also in court, I think Court TV was also reprimanded to not allow the names of the minors. So we're going to hear a lot of redaction that key testimonies might be missed when it goes on to day 6. So, but yeah, we have been hearing minors' names like Isaiah, all of those things, all through the stream for 5 days. So, if Court TV gets admonished again, we might not know the closing arguments. I think we might know the verdicts, but we might not know the closing arguments because she said that she was gonna shut off the stream if that happened again. So fingers crossed it doesn't happen again. The next witness that testified was Officer Shaun, and he was the training officer of Officer Chavez, which was the one that we just went through. Nothing much again from his testimony, and he's gonna be the last testimony that we're gonna go through. He just basically testified that he came in, he saw Officer Hank, I believe his name is, kneeling on Ihsan Ali, and he was and he was testifying to basically Zahraa Ali yelling at him, saying, "Leave the husband alone," all those things. "You're taking my husband." Basically the same thing that we just heard from Officer Tori Chavez. I'm gonna play the audio that was submitted in court to basically show what what the officer was referring to?
No, I don't recall.
Hold on. Yeah, I think this is what got Court TV in trouble, because you can see the minors actually there. I think this is what got them in trouble. And I believe it was a student that is in law school that made the comments or made the request to the judge that the minors was actually being shown on TV, and she admonished them when it came near end. But yeah, let me just continue.
Hey, just wait right there. Just wait right there for right now. I know, and I'm asking you what you're gonna. Let go of my hand. Let go of my hand.
I hope you guys can actually hear what is being said.
Investigation, and as of right now, until we get to the bottom of this, okay? That's for us to determine. That's for us to stop.
Oh. It doesn't look good. Yeah, so it basically goes on like that for a very long time, and to me, like, I don't think this moves the needle at all. If I'm being honest, I don't think this does a lot, and I know they're trying to get the mother in for attempted murder. I always feel like that one is going to be a long shot, because she wasn't the one that was initially even grabbing and trying to strangle the daughter. Even though she did join in, yes, that did happen, but I feel like that would be more of maybe a fourth. I think she was charged with 4th degree assault. We went through the charges on day one. I think her charge was 4th degree. So I don't really believe that they're going to be successful with her attempted murder charge. I just think, like, yeah, she was on top of the daughter, strangling her as well, and yeah, she gave the testimony to the police to say that Isaiah was the bad egg in all of this, was the one that caused all of this, basically, because he was brainwashing her, doing all these things. But I don't think that is going to land her, is going to get discharged. On cross-examination, the defense was trying to show that the police were not really doing anything much to actually help the scene, that they didn't really separate anybody, that they were basically interviewing groups, and this was basically in reference to the interview with Fatima and Haneen, who is her daughter, a sibling of not Fatima, Zahraa and Haneen, who is a sibling, and Haneen is a sibling of Fatima. So basically, just highlighting that they were not following procedures and they were not basically taking authority in regards to the scene. So nothing really much out of that. The best that they highlighted was that a civilian was walking around the police vehicle untraced and unmarked, and he wasn't an agent or anything like that. I thought that was possibly the best one, that they didn't at least try to get everyone out of the way so that they can make a proper arrest. That was the fruit of what they were trying to argue. I don't think it means much, just trying to show that the scene, that the police didn't do a good job. But I don't think it was anything to do with that. Sam says, I thought Zahraa was up for attempted kidnapping, not murder. No, she is up for. You know what? Let's go through before I close off, because I'm coming up to. Let me get that. Okay, so. Okay. No, that's not right. Okay, let me put down Ali. Okay, so I've got this is the charges that was done for the inmate for Ihsan Ali. So we're just gonna go through this one more time. Let me zoom in a bit so that you guys can see it. Can you guys see that? So attempted murder in the second degree, attempted kidnapping in the second degree. I don't know how the kidnapping charge. I wish I looked more into this. Attempted kidnapping in the first degree and second degree, assault in the fourth degree, and assault second degree domestic violence in the. That's what's being charged against Ihsan Ali. I'm not sure, and I said this on day one as well. I'm not sure whether some of these charges has been dropped for court, because what I've seen is only attempted kidnapping in the second degree being reported and attempted murder in the second degree being reported. So I don't think the attempted kidnapping in the first degree is still being pursued, but I don't know. We will hear when it comes to the verdicts. We will know for sure, but I can't remember the kidnapping, and I can't remember the domestic violence being mentioned. So that's why I say that. In regards to Zahraa Ali, it was violation of a protection order, domestic violence. I think this one is guilty all over. There's a video camera brought in to show the visit to even give her the order of protection. The order of protection to basically say stay away. There is testimony from Isaiah's dad to say that he took out the order because of what happened with Isaiah and the whole relationship with them. There was an incident in September that they didn't really get to, so we don't really know what happened in that incident to cause this order to come out, but it did. So definitely this one, I believe, will definitely meet that threshold based on the evidence presented. Assault second degree domestic violence, burglary second degree, attempted murder second degree, attempted kidnapping second degree, attempted kidnapping first degree. While we're here, let me actually just quickly look it up. Washington. Let me just look. Oh, my bad. Oh. So, based on Washington, based on Washington law, it seems like number 6 from which says kidnapping unlawful. This is it. kidnapping in the second degree says a person is guilty of kidnapping in the second degree if he or she intentionally adopts another person under circumstances not amounting to kidnapping in the first degree. In any prosecution for kidnapping in the second degree, is a defense if established by the defendant by a preponderance of evidence that the adoption does not include the use of or intent to use threat or deadly force. So from what I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing the kidnapping part unless, and this is where the testimony in regards to what they were doing at the bus stop comes in, because we went through that on day 3 and day 4, where the defense opened the door to basically say that it was, to basically say that they were going to a non-profit organization and she was being restrained from doing that. So if that's what they're trying to argue kidnapping is, they could likely win the argument because she was going to a place away from their parents. I believe they brought in information about her seeking a 404. They didn't really get into, from what I read, I'm not going to say they didn't really get into that because my memory could be failing me, but there was a talk about a 404 plan being taken out. So maybe that's going into what them going to the place that they were waiting at the bus stop for. So based on the language here that I'm reading in regards to kidnapping of the second degree, it seems like they were using that threat or deadly force to stop Fatima from going to this place that she wanted to go away from the parents. The protection order doesn't help because that would even strengthen the idea, because she couldn't go near Isaiah. And she even violated that to carry out this extra crime. So I don't know how viable the argument is, but on its own, I think that there's a likelihood that they might meet this threshold because of what they were at the bus stop to do and what their home life was like. To basically, that's why I believe they were going through all of this to meet these charges. Regarding, I don't know if the charge of second degree domestic violence is in there, but yeah, that's basically it. So yeah. Oh yeah. No. Oh, I agree with you. Sam says, okay, thank you. Find the call audio solo at times. I only catch words. Yeah. I'm not gonna disagree with you. Like it's a pain to listen to sometimes. Like I'm even watching the Shelby sentencing that's going on right now in Florida. I'm going to be making a video of the sentencing. It's a grueling grueling massacre of 3 people. Like he just basically came from Texas, and just killed these people. So he pleaded guilty to it. And basically my point is, on day 1, you couldn't hear the audio. You just couldn't hear it. Like sometimes it's like that, and it's like that in this case as well. So yeah. But I hope that has shed a bit of light in regards to the charges that have been brought. I wish I know which ones has made it to the jury for them to deliberate, but we'll find out when the jury instructions have been read. Then we'll know what charge that the jury are going to deliberate on. But I do think that the kidnapping and the murder, because it's been spoken about a lot, I think that's what they're mainly trying on. I'm not sure about the domestic violence, not sure, but that's basically it. Yeah, so I will leave it there. I'll leave it there for now. That is basically all the catch up for day 6 of the day 5 of the Ali trial, and day 6 we'll be continuing with the pediatrician testimony. That was Dr. Joyce Gilbert. She was going into that, but the court came to an end for the day. So yeah, so I'll be live again from 1:00 tomorrow. And we're gonna go through it. Don't forget, if you enjoy the content that we're giving, make sure that you hit that like button. It really, really does help with the YouTube algorithm. Consider subscribing. I will also be making exclusive videos where I call it Ketchup Extra, where I give my thoughts and opinions on Zoom call videos. It's a new idea that I come up with to at least reward you members for, following me and supporting me, because I'm trying to build this channel up to be a place where you can come and where court is basically easy accessible and not easy accessible, but like you get my opinions of court cases, and also you get at least the highlights of what happened in court here. So it'll be really great to give you guys perks for supporting my channel. But yeah, that's all I have time for. Thank you for tuning in. Take good care of yourself. Have a great evening. Thank you, Sam and Trial Channel, for communicating with me in the chat, as well as everyone else that's been lurking. I know most of you exist. I know that there are lurkers out there. Thanks for lurking. Hopefully, we will communicate in the chat in the near future. But yeah, if you're watching this back on replay, thanks so much for watching this far. Make sure you hit the like button. I'll see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 1 a.m. UK time for day 6 recap. Take good care of yourself. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the Catch Up Court podcast. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe for more legal cases that we cover on this channel. We do nothing but cover legal cases and true crime on here. You can also check out our playlist that we have of all of our content. They're all available in the playlist option. Make sure you go check that out. So make sure that you hurry back and catch up with us. See you on the next one. Bye for now.